Welcome to another Conversation with Convesio. I'm your host, Mr. Lee Matthew Jackson, and today we have the one, the only, it's Vivian Laurence from Convesio. Vivian, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Lee.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, and I have it on the grapevine that after this, you're going away on a nice, relaxing vacation.
I'm very excited. The little girls' trip is in order. Yes, we're going to have a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Vivian, for the folks that don't know who you are, could you give us a little potted history of Vivian Laurence?
Sure. Yes. So I am currently the Director of Performance Services at Convesio. I work with our team to do a lot of in-house marketing and automation work for our customers who are on the platform hosting their e-commerce businesses or other types of mission-critical websites with us. And my personal background is in agency work, running my own agency for years now. And also, I'm an entrepreneur and a founder of a business in Fiji with my mother. Yeah. We founded a boutique resort together back in 2018. So like many of the other team members at Convesio, I've got a pretty creative entrepreneurial background. So for us, it's exciting to be now, we've been in the shoes of our customers and now we get to serve them as they're growing their businesses and get down into the weeds with them and solving their creative problems.
That is something I find quite unique about the approach of Convesio. I too work with Convesio and also have two separate other businesses as well that are live and running alongside. So I'll be creating content like we're doing today, and yet tomorrow I'll be working at my agency with my team. So it's quite a unique position to be in, isn't it? Where we know what it's like, we know what's happening in the day-to-day running of a business, and we also know those needs. I'd love to jump into a time machine with you and kind of go into that agency life aspect. And could you just share with me kind of what it was that you folks were working on and perhaps what some of your biggest problems or blockers were to success?
Sure. Yeah. So in the agency side of things, agencies are tough because you're always looking for the next projects. You're always looking for new clients to expand your business, right? So I understand how that feels to be on the edge of things and to be in the weeds creating projects. You're going through multiple iterations and briefs and ultimately satisfying business goals of your clients on the end. So there's a lot of moving parts inside of an agency, and that's been my life serving customers for the last 7 years or so. Then I've also transitioned into more of a concrete customer success account management type roles, again, serving business objectives for my clients and making sure that their online presence is solid. Not that it just looks good, but that it's actually performing well. So making sure that people are finding them in Google search results, making sure that they've got a cohesive branding strategy across all of their platforms, right? Like all these details to put on a show, if you will, that it looks good, the production's solid, that's all fair game in the agency world and in a customer success capacity as well, right? Now, the real challenges came when my mother and I started this business in Fiji, right? Because not only are you working on starting a new business from scratch, we were launching a hospitality business, little did we know, right before the pandemic would shut borders down. So it had its own challenges, but you're also working in an international environment, right? And so, the modernities of the US and Silicon Valley and where business happens fastest, that doesn't always translate to the rest of the world. So you're dealing with different systems, right? And so the challenges there, I think that was my most challenging time as a business owner. Working with my mom, we're great partners and she's brilliant. So it was a pleasure, but you're starting something from scratch and hospitality businesses typically take some time to get off the ground. So I started by laying my SEO foundation and building a beautiful website, which is hosted on Convesio, and working to put out content to attract the right people and the right clientele and customers and guests to come and stay with us. When you're working as a business owner, you also have your hands in every single aspect of the business, right?
Absolutely.
There's not just one job or one role. And I think that's the advantage of my own experience and also my teammates' experience at Convesio. All of us have touched every area from business operations to branding to marketing to customer success. Like we all understand how those things work together and how important it is that they're all aligned for a business. So when I think about my own clients now and serving them in the way that really is going to meet their needs and actually push the business forward, increase their revenue, get them more visibility, bring in more potential customers, I'm always thinking back to the creative solutions I had to figure out when we were doing business on an island where nobody knew who we were. What do you do when you're dropped in that situation and you have to shout from the mountaintops that you exist when there's really there's not an easy way to get to you. So that's a long way.
I would love an example
saying.
of any of those crazy solutions you came up with, because this sounds fascinating, and we should be doing like a whole podcast just on that.
Fiji's an awesome place for sure, and it's always, I feel like it's the classic tale when you're dealing with constraints or challenges. That's when the most creative solutions are unearthed, right? Because the typical standard stuff that you're used to being able to pull out of your hat, it just isn't going to really fly the same way, right?
Yeah.
So in that instance, we focused heavily on generating organic, direct leads, direct guest inquiries. So a lot of a foundational SEO strategy. WordPress is a fantastic SEO platform because it's so open source and customizable. Yeah. So I loved building my site there. And then I started creating a lot of content. So both working with human writers, I'm a writer myself, and also recently incorporating, of course, the infamous AIs of the world to put out more content. But that has really set the foundation over the last 5 years for us to have a really steady stream of organic guest inquiries. Without that content strategy and in a high volume manner, we wouldn't have been creating the dent that we have now, right?
And what you've described there as well is kind of the ongoing journey for many Convesio customers. So putting yourself kind of in those shoes of that strategy, how does working with Convesio help an entrepreneur like you carry that sort of strategy out?
It's so important to work with a team that really knows you and your business goals, right? I think so often what our customers encounter in the current commerce space and or just running any type of business, right? You're interfacing with a variety of platforms. You've got one tool that does your email marketing. You've got your one tool that does your SEO. It's all very spread out, and you've got a separate little payments machine that only takes in-person credit cards, right? Like it's very separate. And so one of the challenges that we're aiming to solve for our customers is simplifying their business process so that there's an ease of use, it's more efficient, and they actually have opportunity to maximize their revenue streams as a result. Or with a platform like Convesio Pay, you're actually uncovering a whole new revenue stream for our customers, right? So it's simplifying this stack as much as possible to give them an easy use case. You asked me another part to that question as well, but I can't remember what it was.
Sure. So, I was saying, how does like a company like Convesio help you in carry out that overall strategy that you applied to your resort in Fiji?
I think the advantage to working with our team is that, again, we're not setting you up on a product and leaving you to it, right? The difference in our approach is that we're very hands-on with our customers across these multiple aspects of a business. So because we all have entrepreneurial experience and we've all been business owners and operators, we have these insights about what the right questions are to ask to uncover new opportunities, right? And I think that that's helpful because we really do care. We want to understand the overarching strategy, the other ideas and strategies that our clients have in play in other departments of their business and see if there's any way that we can support or make that more efficient with our tools and expertise. So working with us is much more of a consultative approach. We really do like to take the time to get to know our customers personally and professionally. And most of our customers have been with us for years, right? They appreciate how quick our support is. They know that our team is trustworthy, that we can handle their inquiries, and that we're not just trying to move on to the next thing, right? When we're helping them, we're focused on being present with them and really getting to the bottom of what's going on to make their business operations easier and more effective. Full stop.
Brilliant. And of course, those long-term customers have also had the privilege of seeing Tom's beard slowly develop over the years into the glorious beard that it now
How lucky
is.
are they, right?
I know. That's incredible. Now, I think for me as well, something that's been extremely unique is that I originally thought Convesio was a hosting company. True. However, what happens and what my experience has been reaching out saying, look, I want to achieve this with my website. It tends to be a little bit slow. Instantly, I'm getting like Tom and other people jumping into Slack saying, hey, right, well, this is probably the issue. This is what you need to do. So not upselling me on anything, actually just telling me how to fix my code and what plugin to remove, which is the problem. So things like that, I'd never experienced before with any other company. Most companies will say, oh yeah, go back to your plugin company, it's them, or just upgrade your account to make it faster. But then I've also seen, with the privilege of being behind the scenes, all of these conversations that are happening with clients, where Convesio is way more. There's people doing development. There's new products being developed to help clients with all sorts of different areas of the business, not just the hosting aspect. Could you share with us then a little bit more, say, on Convesio Pay, which you mentioned earlier, but also the new acquisition as well, where you've purchased Grammatic and are launching with Convesio Convert?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is such an exciting phase for Convesio, and I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. As you mentioned, we've historically been just an awesome hosting platform. Most people think of hosting as a kind of a simple tool and just a means to an end for having a site that stands up on the web. But in actuality, a great hosting platform makes all the difference, right?
Yep.
So we've always been a very high speed, high secure platform for keeping mission critical commerce websites live and at their best performance. Now, again, our ultimate focus is always looking at what our customers need. What are their challenges? How are their businesses inefficient? Where are they missing out on potential revenue opportunities? How can we help them get there and keep growing along the way? So that's where this next frontier of evolving from an excellent hosting platform to a full suite commerce solution is so exciting, because we really get to bring these essential tools to our customers in one place. They already know us. They love working with us. There's trust there. And so it's a natural fit for us to be able to serve them in these new ways with Convesio Pay and Convesio Convert.
So what is Convesio Convert?
Convesio Convert is our new omnichannel marketing automation platform. So this is another opportunity for us to streamline our customers' business processes by bringing in more of their marketing suites in-house, right? They already have a site with us. It's already on WordPress. We're bringing in this new marketing channel that will integrate with their WordPress website and actually uncover a lot more user data, behaviors, actions, and preferences of the people who are visiting their website, whether they're existing customers or potential customers. And so it's essentially like cleaning the glass, on the view that you have of the people that are on your site. You're able to actually learn more about them and therefore target them more effectively with the things that they are interested in, right?
Yeah.
Nobody likes a pop-up that has nothing to do with them or why they're on the site, right?
Yeah.
So the goal here is really to use smart technology and use the user data to actually personalize the experience. So Convesio Convert has a few different pillars to it that I would consider key, right? It's got email templates, which can be personalized, of course. You've got your default email templates, your custom templates. You've got smart pop-ups, which are also customizable, but they're really based on users' behavior. So there's so many more steps within the customer journey and the purchase journey that essentially Convert is able to expand each one of those moments so that you as a business owner can actually meet your customer at the point at which makes sense for them, right? Either to let them know that there's something missing or there's something in their cart that they should take a second look at. Maybe there's a product that is relevant to them based on what they've purchased or looked at before. Maybe we can offer them a coupon or a loyalty discount because they are a frequent visitor, right? There's all these ways we can reward and incentivize our customers to keep coming back. And I'm excited because Convert's going to be able to not just keep in touch with customers like a standard email marketing tool, but it's actually going to be able to strengthen your relationships and build customer loyalty.
So as somebody who is a WordPress aficionado, I remember the very, very first release of WordPress back in the day. I also was an early adopter of WooCommerce. Everything you've just described is an awful lot of plugins for WooCommerce, all trying to work together, a lot of configuration, and it can make the website very slow. Everything you've described, I've applied to past client websites and hated every single second of it. Are you telling me that I can bin all of those plugins and just use Convesio Convert for all of that good stuff, and you're already compatible? Because, I mean,
totally.
Okay,
right?
cool.
I mean, doesn't that just simplify everything? Exactly. That's the goal, right? Why use multiple different platforms? You've got all your logins and your subscriptions and all your things. Why not just simplify into one that's going to achieve all of that for you, right? You don't need one plugin for email and one plugin for pop-ups, right? Like we can do this together.
One plugin for cart abandonment, that was one thing. And then the coupon system was a separate plugin. So you had to make sure that the plugin you purchased was compatible with the other plugin that you were using for abandonment, etc. And if it wasn't, you might have to shoehorn something in as well. So we would create some monsters just to try and get some sort of end-to-end process. You also mentioned Convesio Pay as well, and I believe Convesio Pay will at some point integrate with Convesio Convert as well. Could you just describe what Convesio Pay does? I guess for the everyday e-commerce store owner, and also for the everyday agency owner like ourselves who might be looking for other revenue streams, etc.
Absolutely. So many of our clients are still, especially in the agency world, so many of our clients are still doing payments offline. They're using simplified systems like QuickBooks, and they're simply working as they always have because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But being able to provide an in-house solution for them to actually collect payments more easily. Again, it already integrates with their platform on Convesio. It will be connected to the websites that they have with us. It's giving them and their customers a much more efficient customer journey, right? For the business owners and the agencies, they get to collect revenue much more quickly and automate that system. And for the end user, everyone expects a simple way to pay now. It should be easy. It should be as few barriers to complete a transaction as possible, right? The more touch points and manual pieces we have in the customer journey, the longer it is and the more risk you are actually putting into whether or not that customer converts and actually ends up as a customer rather than just a missed opportunity. So being able to provide a payment solution is going to help the agencies that we serve and the other commerce businesses really maximize their revenue and streamline that process so that they're not missing out on any revenue that's coming their way.
I think one of the important things that I'm seeing as well with some of the previews and the conversations that I've been having about Convesio Pay is for example, WooCommerce, and Convesio Pay isn't just limited to WooCommerce, but for WooCommerce, the actual default checkout process is quite unwieldy and will put people off going through. Whereas with Convesio Pay, two things stood out to me. Number one, I can set up Apple Pay without it being complicated, without third-party plugins, and without, say, going to Stripe and asking for help, etc. And then on help, point number two is that Convesio wants to continue to work in such a way as they already work with their hosting clients, which is working with you. So actually helping you get Convesio Pay, Convesio Convert, whatever it is, set up with you, configured correctly for your business, help you with regards to any strategies, etc., that you might need to apply to that to get the best out of that particular product. How and why did you think that was the best way? Because very often when we're considering launching a new product, the default process for a lot of companies is to say, right, let's launch this new product that solves this problem. We'll hide behind a knowledge base. And if somebody really wants to talk to us, then they have to fill in an email, and we might get back to them in 24 hours or so, and we will respond with a link to a help guide. So that's kind of my typical experience of these sorts of online services. What kind of has pushed Convesio in this kind of complete opposite direction?
Well, ultimately, our success is our customers' success, and vice versa, right? We're only great when our customers are succeeding, their revenue is increasing, more people are finding them. Like, we're only as good as their performance, right? So for us, we're extremely invested in making sure that our solutions are made for our customers, right? I think a lot of tech comes out these days, and the creators themselves they are just that. They are creative. They themselves are excited about new tech, about new solutions. They're just stoked to be making stuff, right? But unless you're really serving your end customer, you run the risk of creating something that doesn't actually get used or adopted. So for us, our customers are our partners in this, right? Like, it is their experience that will develop and inform how good our tools become and how effective they are. And that's our end goal. And so when we're working with our customers, we want them to have the best experience. Now, you mentioned the whole help and support ecosystem, right? I mean, we've all had that experience, and it elongates any process to launch probably by 10 times, right? When you have to go to a different support person for every single platform, and you're trying to figure out where your API keys are and who knows what, who has what, right? Like, it's just, it's a task, right? And this elongates, again, your time to launch. It stretches this whole process out unnecessarily. So for our customers, I feel like it's a no-brainer for them, right? They already trust us. We know their business. And so for us to be able to provide and hassle-free white glove onboarding experience makes that whole job just done. They don't have to lift a finger. They don't have to worry about the technical implementation, because that's our job. They get to focus on the overarching strategy for their business, and they trust that when it comes to the technology and how things get done, our team's got that covered.
Yeah. And I mean, it may sound twee or whatever the right word is, but we are to look at Convesio as an extension of the team. And I know many people would maybe say that as part of their marketing, but in my experience, it's really true. You literally are. And with that one line you said right at the very beginning, just of your answer there was, our customers' success, or our success, is very much reliant on our customers' success. So us being so heavily involved in that, I think is very exciting and very inspiring. Now, quickly, as an agency owner, we've kind of mentioned it a couple of times, but we talked about revenue, and that's a big thing for us. You said right at the very beginning, didn't you? For your agency, finding new business is hard. We're going to find a new website. We're going to compete against tons and tons of people. Many times we might be just competing for, say, brochure websites, which means the cost of entry is plummeting because Wix exists, and a student can now build a website on Wix, and AI has also come in, so that makes it a lot easier. We then kind of flip that to the other side and say, right, well, maybe there's more money in, say, e-commerce, which is great because I can charge more money for that. However, we still have to keep finding project. There's an awful lot of work. There's an awful lot of customizations, although, of course, folks, remember, Convesio Convert is going to help you an awful lot with some of those cart abandonment sequences and emails, etc. Little plug. But all of that is, we know as agencies, is the track that we can go down, but that's also kind of scary and overwhelming. If we do go down that track, great. However, just like it with a brochure website, once the site's built, there's very limited other revenue we can generate with that client other than perhaps a support contract and maybe creating some content or something along the lines, or editing some social media posts. But again, that's all based on us outputting stuff. Convesio Pay has something just a little bit different, which I think agencies might be interested in. Do you mind sharing a bit about that?
Sure. So the secret sauce of the new Convesio Pay application, I know it is delectable, right? I mean, this is the thing. You hit the nail on the head, right? You're agencies inevitably typically have this ceiling of revenue potential, right? You're limited to what your human capacity is on the team, how many sites you can build, how much content you can drive. You're limited by human factors. So the Convesio Pay application is exciting in that it's offering a revenue split of the fees collected on payment processing. So typically you'd be paying the payment fees for processing any payments you're intaking to the platform that you're using to actually conduct that commerce. Now on Convesio Pay, our agencies have the opportunity to actually share that revenue split with us. So they're getting a percentage of the fees that they would have been giving away, because for us, it's easy. It's a no-brainer. Like, again, the end goal here is to make our agencies more successful. And so giving them a new revenue opportunity, saying, hey, you can actually keep these payment processing fees in-house and collect on all the revenue that you're producing, and offer this as a solution for your own clients who also need to collect payments digitally. I mean, that is brilliant. It opens up a whole new world of exponential growth for them that just wasn't accessible when you're limited to these third-party platforms where you play by their rules, and that's that.
Yeah. And the cool thing here as well is, I've mentioned WooCommerce a few times, but we can now bring our billing in-house, invoicing, etc., and like you said, get a share of those fees that I've normally been paying out. However, if we look at a wider, of course, there's e-commerce, but e-commerce isn't just a WooCommerce website. It's also membership sites. It could be one-page landing pages to sell a particular product. It could be, the LMS. There's also invoicing platforms. So, for example, a plumber might need a page setting up so that they can take card online, etc. So you can set up a form, for example, and plug in Convesio Pay with that in the near future, allowing your plumber client to be able to take payments online, etc. So it's not just a big, huge, complex e-commerce platform people need to set up. There's so many different use cases, and again, we get that extra support with Convesio Pay, trying to work out, hey, how do I add Apple Pay to make this a really seamless, quick checkout, or make this process or this customer journey super easy.
Totally, right? And you've really nailed it there, Lee. Commerce is the future, and it's all becoming digital, right? Every type of business that we run and how we do things, everyone expects this to be as streamlined as possible, right? The younger generations may never see a checkbook in their lifetime. Who knows? You have to specially order those now from your bank, right? So
there's some people listening to us Googling what a checkbook is, by the way.
Right. Where do I sign my name on a checkbook? Yeah. So, things are changing. You nailed it. I think commerce across the board is becoming much more simplified. People expect immediacy in how we do business. And that is going to affect every industry that there is. So from the trade industries to the e-commerce websites, this Convesio Pay product is a platform solution for all commerce businesses to streamline and to uncover new revenue. So for us, it's exciting to be influencing and supporting not only the future of commerce here and how things are done, but the access and who gets access to a modern commerce solution. And the more the merrier, in our opinion.
Absolutely, because like you said, the customer's success is also your success. I'm sure I'm butchering the line you shared earlier. I'll have to go back and listen. You said it so well. Which was wonderful.
You.
Well, as we come into land, I am incredibly excited by all of this. I guess all that's left to ask you is, where can people find out some more information? And then we shall say goodbye.
Yes. As always, please keep up with us at convesio.com and follow us on LinkedIn. That's where we share a lot of in real-time updates about new solutions, product advancements, and improvements we have to share. But we always welcome a direct conversation. So please do reach out to us, and we'd love to chat with you and see how we can get to know you and scale your business together.
Absolutely. And that's totally true, folks. You can absolutely email, use the contact form, have an actual conversation with the team here at Convesio, and also keep your eye on LinkedIn for any of these updates for some of these incredible new services that are coming out. You can also check the links in the description of this video for everything, including the new Convesio Convert platform that you can check out right now, which is freaking awesome. Vivian, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful time away.
Thank you so much, Lee. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Cheerio.
Bye.